Dan Bidondi, TruthRadioShow.com. We got a special guest today. He's Rehan Allawala. He's actually from Pakistan, but he's here in the United States. He's got businesses here in the United States. He's an entrepreneur in business technologies. And he does a lot of good things, especially uniting people. And then on the show, we frequently talk about how our governments all over the world like to brainwash the population, say, hey, the American people are bad people, the Middle East people are all terrorists. But we know, okay, especially people watching the show here, we know that it's all propaganda by both of our governments to produce war. So that being said, we got Rehan Allawala. He's here to talk about how we could unite. He's got ways that people we could talk to each other from, from here in the United States to the Middle East and all that. But Rehan Allawala, how you doing, sir?
I'm very well. Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, it's a pleasure having you. And you want to give a brief introduction to yourself as well? Because there's some stuff I missed out here, so I want people to know who you are first before we move on further.
Dan, the best, smallest definition I can give of myself is that I am a simple human being like everybody else. And that's what I want to be. And I want to be a good human being. And that's, again, what I want to be. And that's the best definition I can give of myself.
Amazing. So you run a lot of businesses and business technology and all that good stuff, and you're an entrepreneur. What we're going to do is we're going to show his video of who he is. He's got an awesome 2-minute video of everything he does. We're going to put that at the end of this video. So after the interview's over here, just stay tuned. We're going to put his video on there so you know who we're talking to. And now, me and you've been talking for a little while now, and you got a message that you want to unite people worldwide?
Yes, I have traveled to over 65 countries in my life. I have been working since I'm 13, and I'm a problem solver. I would say to myself, I'm a problem solver or an entrepreneur. And in my life, I have done 50 different ventures, and now I use my entrepreneurial skills to see how we can create peace on the planet. And I have started an organization called the Institute of Peace, where we use technology to empower people in similar, entrepreneurial skills and, Silicon Valley types of scaling skills. How to use technology to bring peace to the planet? How do we make people understand each other better? And the best way to understand each other is actually to have a conversation. No matter who you go war with, whomever who you are fighting, you end up talking on a table in the end so that you can understand and come to a compromise and understand each other. So my logic is, why don't we do this before instead of going out and killing a lot of people and then talking? Why don't we start talking now? And so I'm here always on a hunt to look for people around the globe who would like to talk to people around the globe. I have 700,000 people on my Facebook now. I have a goal of making 1 million of them. And what I'm looking for is people who are Americans, people who are Democrat, people who are Republican, people who hate anyone or dislike any race for a particular reason. You're more than welcome to log in and message me, and I would introduce you to people from around the globe. And then you can have a conversation and tell them, this is why I don't like you, or this is what I don't like, and then, or this is why I like you. So it's like virtual traveling. So not everybody can afford to travel around the globe, but this way you get to meet different people, and that way you can understand them better than before. You can learn about them in books and everything, but remember that books are always written by people of different backgrounds. So for example, in the US, a book on Islam, majority of the time would be written by a person who's non-Muslim. And similarly in the East, or like I'm from Pakistan, so people who are writing books about Christianity would be people who are not Christians. So they're very biased. And the best way is to actually know a person. And when you know a person, then you can see if they're good or bad. And that's it. I just ask people to friend people from different parts of the world and just be there. Just watch them, how they live their life, and then let their character show if they're a good person or a bad person. And and that way you can learn about them, and then you can exchange languages, cultural exchange, and there's a lot of business opportunity for them also. Like my first business in the U.S. was a former school teacher who was a phenomenal girl, a woman who helped me start my first company. She trusted me, and the trust came after a few years of friendship. And because of her, I became successful in the United States, and I want more. Her name was Suzanne, and I want more Suzannes and Rehans to start their own businesses together around the globe, and use the best of the planet with the best of the other parts of part of the planet, and create something new.
Absolutely, and yeah, we've been talking for a little while, and you already connected me with a gentleman from Yemen. I forgot his name, and but I talked to this guy from Yemen through Rehan there, and he was just telling me things that are going on in Yemen, and I already understand, so I wasn't calling him to say, hey, I disagree with you on stuff. No, because I already know what's going on, and people who listen to my show all the time should know what's going on. That he was telling me that basically we're gonna get him on the show, but long story short, he was telling me that his village was bombed by drones, CIA drones at that, killed 11 family members and all that. I mean, it's disgusting what our country's doing. And we know the United States government does not speak for the American people. And we know the Pakistani government and the Turkish government and all that don't speak for the people either. So that's what Rehan's trying to purvey to you here. It's like a mediation. That's what he's trying to do. And a mediation so you can work out your grievances. In other words, like, I want to contact somebody in Pakistan. I don't agree with them. They're a damn terrorist, blah, blah, blah. Well, talk to them. And he's going to, blah, blah, blah. So you work it out and get to know each other. Wait a minute. He's not a terrorist. He's just a regular family man like me, you know what I mean? And I talk too much, I'm sorry, Rehan, but yeah, if you want to continue on, elaborate what I was saying.
Yeah, so you see, America went to war after 9/11. 2,000 something people died, around 3,000 people died. And they went to war in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and millions have been killed. Now, I don't see how that is justice to go out and kill. Jesus says an eye for an eye. Not even Jesus doesn't even say that. An eye for an eye is normally what you normally get. But, 3 million people against 3,000 people, that doesn't sound the same. Similarly, in Pakistan, 300,000 people have been killed in this war on terror. And on top of that, even after all that sacrifice that Pakistanis made for the American forces or for the war, which has brought down our country, you end up getting every Hollywood program you would see when it comes to terrorism. You're finding somebody from Pakistan. So how would you feel if every time there was a bad thing we named American forces that they did the bad thing? You would feel bad. It would just be disrespectful. So, and the best way to earn respect is to give respect. You cannot earn something which you don't give. So if you don't give respect to someone, it's difficult to get respect back from them.
Exactly, and I tell people all the time, they're shooting at our soldiers. Well, if you had military from another country in our country here going into your homes, policing your streets, you'd be shooting at them too. And rightfully so, justified that these people are defending themselves, because we had leaked videos, Edward Snowden from the NSA, I'm sorry, leaked all kinds of stuff that's going on. We had so many whistleblowers that show videos of our troops. I'm not saying that we got some great troops, whatever, but some of them are rogue troops. Okay, they're going around killing innocent people for joy and for fun. And this one has been going on since Vietnam. And all countries have militaries that do this, just go around killing innocent people for fun. And it's disgusting. And we have no constitutional jurisdiction to be outside U.S. borders. There's no war on terror. We've been telling people for a while, the war on terror is bogus, okay? It's fictitious, made up by the CIA. So you get your support to go to war. So we go blow up those evil people in the Middle East. Yeah. But folks, they're not evil, okay? Your government's evil. The CIA is evil. That's who's evil. The United Nations is evil. They use propaganda. The same thing Hitler did. They use propaganda to get the Germans to be against the Polish and so on. I mean, it's all happening today. Edmund Burke, one of our founding fathers, said, those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. And we're seeing that history repeat right now, aren't we, Rehan?
There's a very nice video by a gentleman on TED, which you might want to see and ask I would want through you to have a look at it. It's about how CIA creates terrorists, and it's a factual. It's a very heavy duty video. It's only 15 minutes long, but if people saw that, they would maybe understand much more about what's actually going on. So what I would say is that start believing. If I went ahead and started to advise, or anyone, you wouldn't take advice on your life savings from anyone. Why do you go ahead and believe people you just by watching television or radio or whatever, in this day and age where you can actually find facts? Why don't you make some friends? The maximum that can happen is you can unfriend them. The maximum more that can happen, you can block them if you don't like them. But you know, uh, Jesus always said, make friends with your enemy. So if you're not friends, what are you? Why aren't you talking with these people? How would they hurt you on social media? What can they do? What can they find out about you? They're living in another part of the world. Why can't you just have a conversation with them? And I wanted to share a story. Is that okay with you?
Oh, sure. Good.
So, so 2 years ago, I found a woman. Her name is Pamela Hills. She lives in Ohio, and she had like 80 friends on Facebook. And I found her, and she saw my video, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so happy to meet you." And we started talking. And after an hour of conversation, she said, "I'd love to meet people from around the world." So I said, "Would it be okay to introduce more people to you?" And I introduced more people to her. And then a week later, I said, "How are you doing?" So she said, "Oh, I'm so excited. I met all these great people, and I'm learning from them, and I'm teaching them, and I'm so happy." And then I said, "Would you like more friends?" She said, "Yeah, I want more friends." So she got some more friends, and then some more friends, and some more friends, and now she has 8,000 people from around the globe on her Facebook. And I asked her one day, "Why do you spend so much time, Pamela? Why do you spend so much time on talking to these people, to these strangers?" And she said, Rihan, somebody messaged me with a very angry photo on profile and saying, "I wish I could come to America and kill everyone."
Oh,
And she got scared, and she waited a while, and then she started talking with this boy again, gentleman, whoever he was. And then an hour she talked. And then an hour later, that person posted his profile photo, and then he said, "Ma'am, this is the first time I've actually ever talked with anybody in the United States. You're the first person I'm ever talking to. And if in America everybody is so nice like you are, I have no reason to hurt anyone, and I apologize for doing that." And she said, "This is why I take my time and I talk to these people, because if they haven't met anyone, why, they wouldn't really understand." So similarly, if America is going to war in Yemen and Syria and Iraq, how many friends do you know? How many people do you know who live in Iraq? Come to me, tell me, and I'll introduce you to these people who live there. Thousands of them are there. You can just talk to one, two, five. And in the process, you will end up learning firsthand experience of how it is to be there. And that will give you a reference point. That will give you enough empathy to go ahead and call your senator or your congressman and to say, "No, people there are not bad, or this is the actual reason, and this is actually what's going on." We talk about ISIS all the time. If you talk to anyone in the Islamic world, they would say ISIS doesn't even exist. ISIS is a CIA plot. That's what they say. And just the same way it was Taliban. Um, so, there's a lot of information we don't have, but there's a lot of information we do have, and we can make our own decision. We're not stupid people, right?
exactly.
And we go to colleges, we went to school, we can make our own decision, but we need enough data to make the decision. And you will not get that data better than the person himself. As they say, the horses, hear it from the horse's mouth.
Exactly, and you're right on that. And people, new viewers and all that, he's exactly right. Al Qaeda, these so-called Muslim extremist groups like ISIS and all that, they're not real Muslim. They're created by the CIA. John McCain, I mean, look at him, senator there, taking pictures with the leaders of ISIS. And I want to tell you quickly who ISIS is. People, the American people especially, were getting wise to who Al Qaeda was. Al Qaeda, Al Qaeda, Al Qaeda. And they start to realize, wait a minute, Al Qaeda is nothing more than the fictitious. Well, they're real people, but they're created by the CIA. Timothy Osman was Bin Laden's CIA covert name. They hired him for 10 years during the 10-year war to create. They get more than money, weapons, and everything you need to create Al Qaeda. And they use Al Qaeda for every so-called terrorist attack that our own government stages since 9/11. Oh, Al Qaeda did it. And Al Qaeda had nothing to do with 9/11. It was our own government. And ISIS is the new boogeyman in the closet now. Sure, they're real people going around killing people, but hey, these people are created by the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency. That's who they're created by. Okay, these are the corrupt scum. That what they do is it's divide and conquer. It's a simple old technique. It goes back to ancient Babylon. It's an old Hygelian dialect. Problem, reaction, solution, order out of chaos. You want to present order, people say no, so you create the chaos so they willingly accept the new order, the new world order. Exactly what is going on here, folks. You need to wake up. ISIS is nothing more than a CIA operation. And where do you think they're getting all those brand new military vehicles from? All those top military weapons from? It's from us. The CIA's airdropping them weapons. All this came out in record, folks. We cover this on Infowars.com, on TruthRadioShow.com here as well. And Rehan, I mean, you're 100% correct, brother. And people need to wake up. We need to communicate. And Rehan's going to tell you how to get hold of him and everything, his website. And he's got, again, Facebook, 700,000 people he's connecting with from all over the world. And Rehan, tell people how they can connect with you and you can arrange connections with other people.
Yeah, just come to my Facebook and just, message me on there, and I spend a lot of my time because I really believe in this amazing new platform which exists for us, which can allow us to learn so much, from each other, because, it's there and it's been created. This platform will also change like other media's change. But you know what? Right now it's here. Right now we can use it, so let's use it for our best interest.
Exactly, and we need to do that to reach across the planet and say, hey, in today's technology, like I'm talking to you, are you in California now, right? Is that correct?
I'm in Houston, but I could
Houston.
In
Afghanistan. And I'm on the East Coast here. And this is technology, Skype. And folks, you could talk to people. There's all kinds of applications that you could do. Talk to them for free across the planet. And like I talked to that guy from Yemen the other day for free. I forgot the app name. If you want to promote that app, it's pretty cool. It's called What's Up. It's an app. It's called What's Up. If you can see it on the screen here, I'll put it on my camera. You can download it, and it connects with your phone, but it's totally free. You can connect with people from all over the world and talk to them free. But there's many venues now with this technology to talk to people. And Rehan, right now we know there's a lot of hatred going on. So what could you tell to people from America, to people in different countries right now listening? What could you tell them to basically say, put your anger aside for a minute and, get to know somebody from the opposite side of the field?
What do I want to do it?
What could you tell them? What could you tell them that would make them put the anger away for a minute and say, hey, I want to connect with somebody and get to know them better?
The anger away. Wow, that's a big question. Anger hurts you and burns you before it burns anybody else. Anger doesn't help anyone. That's why, for example, in Islam, it's haram. It's like eating pork for us. 99% of all religions are the same. 99.9% of every human being is the same. It's only the 0.1% to 1% what's different. And that 1% allows us to be so creative. If we could only, watch Star Trek and see what happens in the future, that is going to happen anyway. So Why don't we embrace it? Why don't we take advantage of the beautiful things, an amazing, amazing time which we live in? And why don't we use our wealth to, eradicate poverty from the world? Why don't we use our knowledge to make sure that nobody sleeps hungry on the planet? Why can't we do that? We can. I have a friend who is in Rwanda. I have never met him, and he messages me every week and says, "Brother, when are you coming to have lunch with me?" And he's a drummer, and he makes $40 a month. And I sort of got him to talk to me and make a video of his drums, and he sent me a happy birthday on his drums once. That's the power which is available to us. And he makes $40 a month, and he could do that. There's another boy in Somalia who is a tomato seller, and he makes $30-40 a month also. And he was telling me that how he sells tomatoes, and he showed me photo. It was in a broken box which he was selling. And then I asked him, "What do you do after 4 days when tomatoes start to go bad?" He said, "I throw them away." Then I shared him a video where he could dry the tomatoes. He could make $40 more a month just by doing that, throwing away. Instead of throwing away, he could dry them and he can sell them. He just did not know that he could dry the tomatoes. I mean, how simple is that?
Yeah.
Remember that there are 7 billion people on the planet, 300 million live in the US, and 6 billion of them will never, ever, ever come to the United States, ever. And the chances are that out of the 300 million who live in this country will never go, 200 million will never go outside the country. But now we have this medium available to us. Everybody has a smartphone, everybody has a computer. We're living in a very, very beautiful time. Why don't we go out and reach our brothers and sisters around the globe and see what we have to learn from them and what we have to teach them and bring them closer? And I'm telling you, you will be so happy when you do that. If you're spending time on watching your television and games and everything, try to find an hour a week just talking to these people. I'm telling you, your life will be so rich. You will feel so much accomplished because can you imagine just 100% increasing of somebody's income sitting in Somalia just by sharing a video to them? How much time and effort did that take? But somebody had to engage with them, see, and they would never be able to come into the U.S. to see the supermarkets and everything. And we have to build all these things around the globe. So there is a huge opportunity for people in the West to go out and help people in the East because they have seen the future. This country was a different country 60 years ago. There was no McDonald's, and there was no fast food and everything around the globe. And it's a gift. It's a problem, but it's also a gift from this economy to the world where we have these facilities available. And people in this country who cannot find jobs, there are 150,000 people in this country who are homeless. I a foreigner who doesn't even have a visa to live here as a permanent resident, have started an organization to help homeless people in America. It's called the homelessamerican.net. And I couldn't bear it. How could you bear it? How could you see this happen? And how can't you help them? Why don't you ship? Half of these are sane people. I met another gentleman who inspired me to make this. He speaks 3 languages and has 3 degrees. Why can't we ship him overseas as an English teacher if he cannot be taken care of by this country?
Yeah.
He can go out there and he can live a wonderful life overseas and he can, become an English teacher. If he doesn't know anything, he knows English. And majority of the world does not know English. 3 billion people don't know English. I speak with an accent. But if the teachers from this part of the world started going and teaching, the world will change. What's stopping all the retired people in the elderly home? We throw them away. So I started another website called the Virtual Grandparents and the Virtual Grandchildren, where people can adopt people over Facebook and they can become their grandchildren and grandparents and then just give them their time. They don't need the money. Aid is very, very bad thing. You cannot keep on feeding anyone because they become reliant on that money. They don't work hard anymore. So you shouldn't give them money, but you can teach them knowledge. Teach what you know, put it on YouTube, put it on Facebook, make some new friends, change the world. That's how easy it is. Everybody can change the world now. As I said in the start, I'm no different than you are. I'm just a normal human being that anybody else, like everybody else. I just go out and I am not scared to fail. I am very happy to fail. if anything, if it helps one person, that's not a failure to me. So,
Yeah.
I like to use technology to empower other people. That's what I live for. So I would suggest people can do what I'm doing, or do what your thing is. Become happy. Stop being angry. What are you angry about? It's a beautiful world.
It is, and that's the attitude we had when I first started the show back in 2008. I'm like, if I could reach just one person, yeah, I could be in it for 20 years, and if I just reached one person, I'd be happy. And we know we reached, I can't even tell you how many over the years between being on the show here and also Infowars.com especially. And we reach millions of people across the planet. And I'm more thankful to God than anything that He's given me the opportunity to do that, to wake people up. And I know you have for sure, because you wouldn't have 700,000 followers on your Facebook page. And you're connecting people worldwide. And you're doing a great thing, brother. I'm telling you. And I just want to encourage you and keep up the good work, because, again, like we said before early in the show and during the show, that people are being brainwashed by our governments. Because the thing is, folks, all the governments in the world, you need to understand, they're all on the same New World Order boat, okay? They want all the people fighting each other so they could justify a New World Order. One world religion, one world government, one world economy, all problem, reaction, solution, order out of chaos. In the meantime, they divide. Look what they're doing here, Rehan, in America. Whites against blacks now, and blacks against Hispanics, Republicans against Democrats, cops against people. I mean, they're dividing people every which way. The religions are taking down flags that, it's just insane what's going on here in America. And then on top of it, sticking to people, ISIS is going to come kill all of us. And, it's so mind-boggling. I mean, I can't even fathom with words to tell you exactly. Well, you already know anyway, but what's going on here just in America alone, let alone the entire world. And if people like us connecting people and getting the truth out there, that's what this world needs. And you people watching too, if you could reach out to somebody, you know what I mean. And if you want to plug your website, Rehan, and we're going to show you a video, also his video at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. Plug your website again, and how people can reach you one more time.
Just they can go to rehan.com. That's like rehab with an N, REHAN.com, and that's, you can find my introduction over there. You can just type Rehan, and you can just look up the Facebook from there. Add me on Facebook, add me on Twitter. Message me, tell me what kind of people you like to meet. Just make sure you have a nice little photo on your profile, so people, just like you want to meet people who have a face, other people will like to meet you also who have a face. And that'll allow you to reach out and just say hi. Americans are the most friendliest people on the planet. I love this country just for that reason, because the loveliest people on the planet live here. You live in a small little suburb or anywhere, people will driving by will just wave on you. It doesn't happen anywhere on the planet. You go anywhere, it doesn't work that way.
Oh, yeah, except for New York.
Friendly.
Except for New York. I mean, you could be laying there in the street with a knife in your back. All you need somebody to do is pull it out to save your life. They'll just step on you. I mean, it's that bad in New York. New York, I mean, I got stories about New York, brother. But, yeah, you're right. Most of the country, especially down in the South, especially in Texas where you are, people are great. And because I was out in Austin for about a year with Infowars, and people are great, especially where you are. And any last things you want to plug before we go?
Yeah, teach the world your friendliness. That's what I would say. America has a beautiful love to give to the world. America has this melting pot thing where people come from everywhere, contribute to this economy, create new things, and then we export it back. So I would say you have this amazing smiling faces, amazing loving people. Instead of having an army of war, have an army of peace. There should be a department of, just like they have Department of Defense, you'd have Department of Peace. Why don't you have money for that?
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Go
they don't want that though, because they wouldn't get money off the military-industrial complex. I mean, it's that. I mean, but people need to wake up and do this. And Rehan, thank you for your time. But if you want to stay right there, so I could talk to you after the show. But people, we're gonna post all his links on the description of this website, this video here. It's gonna be in the description, his Facebook and everything, his website. And we're gonna show his video, his introduction, official introduction at the end of this video. And folks, I want people to subscribe to my Twitter as well. I'm trying to build my Twitter up. I got 3,500 people right now. I should have more. I really haven't worked on my Twitter yet, but please subscribe to my Twitter as well, and my all my social media sites, truthradioshow.com. And this is Dan Bidondi, folks. And again, we need peace in the world. Not the peace the UN presents. That's tyranny. I'm talking about peace like Jesus says. You know what I mean? And peace, with one another and brothers and all that, brothers and sisters. But anyway, we're out of time. Dan Bidondi, truthradioshow.com. And again, stay tuned for Rehan's introduction. And again, his links will all be on the description in this video. Dan Bidondi, God bless.
Mr. Rehan Allawala is the founder and president of Super Technologies Inc., a United States-based company started in the field of software solutions for the telecom industry. He is an entrepreneur with a seemingly insatisfiable appetite for starting new businesses. At the age of 13, he founded his first company called Pakistan Computers in Pakistan, and by the age of 16, he created Commodore computer accessories including voice digitizers, modems, and speed increasers whilst he was in high school. Now, he is the president and CEO of different companies around the world, including the United States, Malaysia, Singapore, Dubai, Europe, and Pakistan. Some of his apparent and most significant ventures are DIDX.net, Virtual Phone Line, Superphone, Mun2 Video Productions, Techistan Magazine, TV Pakistan, Paki.com, IPPABX.com, Health Management System, School Management System, Building Management System, and Rehan Autos. Rehan Allawala is the expert in the field of VoIP, ERP systems, CRM systems architecture, VoIP network design, and international marketing. He regularly speaks on these topics in conferences and seminars around the world. Rehan Allawala is the keen contributor in philanthropic works and supports various NGOs and charity foundations. He also founded the Rehan Foundation with the mission to eradicate poverty from the world. In this process, he has started Rehan School, Rehan University, Rehan Training, and is creating 100 small business models that can be started with only $100, with a goal of creating 1 million businesses at least in the next few years. He has said, "Let's create a platform that unites humanity and creates equality like never before."
Defending liberty in the spirit of 1776. It's Dan Bidondi on truthradioshow.com.